Hello, everyone, and welcome. We'll be looking into different ways to motivate others, whether in a professional or personal setting. Throughout this course, I have explored many helpful theories of motivation that could help others get through challenges they may be experiencing. We'll be looking for strategies that can initiate engagement, whether in a classroom or everyday situations. During this presentation, we'll be exploring two motivational theories as well as break down four motivational strategies. During this course, I had engaged in two motivational activities involving my son, who's been diagnosed with both spina bifida and autism. He was involved in reading and comprehension over the summer, where it may have been a challenge in the beginning, but he would eventually understand reading as well as enjoy reading wherever he was. He was also engaging in swimming, but had to overcome a past medical issue that affected his enjoyment in swimming. Today, we'll be focusing on two motivational theories and causal attributional theory and goal orientation theory. Causal attribution theory explains that people try to understand why they succeed or fail, and those explanations affect their motivation. If they believe success comes from their own effort, they feel confident and keep trying. If they think failure is due to something they can't control, like low ability or outside obstacles, they may lose motivation and avoid similar tasks. How someone explains their performance shapes whether they approach future challenges with determination or pull away from them. Understanding these why explanations helps support people in building confidence, staying engaged, and finding purpose in what they're doing. This may involve a person like my son, who was not motivated in entering a pool due to a reoccurring medical issue that he was unable to control, and that affected his effort in engaging in swimming like he once enjoyed. In the goal orientation theory, the kind of goal people choose affects how motivated they feel, how they handle challenges, and how well they perform. If someone focuses on learning and improving, like mastering goals, they usually feel more motivated and positive, even when tasks are difficult. Take, for example, when learning to read and how over time my son would eventually enjoy reading and apply the skill to things he loves, such as reading his favorite song on the radio. If the goal is to look good or outperform others, like performance goals, they may feel more pressure, which can help or hurt their confidence depending on how capable they feel. Overall, the type of goal a person adopts shapes how they approach tasks, dealing with setbacks, and work towards success. Strategy 1: Building confidence through small, low pressure steps. One strategy that was found to be very resourceful in causal attributional theory is attributional retraining. In attributional retraining, this works by creating new and positive experiences that can reshape beliefs or preconceived notions when it comes to engaging in a task. When a student is feeling less motivated to participate in a lesson due to such things like doubt, intimidation, or boredom, the practical approach can start with very small steps towards the activity or lesson. As an educator, you can celebrate each step as progress with the students. Allow them to stop or pause without judgment. Small success help replace avoidance with confidence. When a student can express to you, "Hey man, I can't do this," we as educators can look to highlight how much they are progressing in the activity to retrain their thinking by walking them through the activity to better understand and build great encouragement to be sure that they can handle this. I had found this rather effective in applying this activity with my son, which involved a pool in which he had experienced a shunt malfunction that had some association with the pool that caused great pain and immediate medical intervention. Since that time, he didn't want to be in a pool. However, I found very much a little steps to get comfortable towards a pool, and eventually he got into a pool while having him believe that nothing will happen to him. Gradually, he will begin to engage, relearn, and enjoy swimming again without a shred of worry. Strategy 2: Connect the activity with something meaningful. People can be willing to face feelings of doubt and discouragement when the activity has a purpose. An approach that can be utilized is things like talking to students about what the activity gives them. Have them express what they may like about the activity. How can they relate in what is being talked about? This can build a sense of confidence and make them begin to feel relaxed and ready to take on the activity. This can help them remember why they wanted to do it in the first place. Keep in mind that the purpose helps override fear-based avoidance. With regards to my son when going into a pool, each step in going into and engaging in swimming, my son was asked if he was experiencing any pain while coming into the pool or being active in the pool. This approach brought about self-assurance that this experience was relaxing. I would engage in doing little things for fun, just to make him laugh, just making it a happy and positive experience, such as kicking our feet in the water at poolside, or splashing little water on me to bring about laughter. Also having him float on his back in the water and remind him, hey, just relax. This can build a confidence through gradual experience and approach the activity with purpose with just simply having fun. Strategy 3. Help to stay motivated and build confidence with gentle guidance and positivity. When it comes to goal orientation theory with the mastery approach goals, the idea is to help students think about the activity as a chance to learn something new or get better at a skill instead of having to worry about being perfect. You could begin by encouraging them to set a goal, like, for example, I want to learn more about this. In the performance approach goal, we can look to help students use performance goals in a positive way by focusing on doing their best rather than outdoing others or avoid making mistakes. You can frame the goal with the approach of having students show how much they've learned. Give praise to putting in the effort, for engaging with curiosity, and their progress. Be sure to use friendly, low-pressure challenges. You can suggest to your students to try out the first 3 problems. You can remind them of how well they've done in the last time and to continue to use the positive and productive attitude that they used before. And lastly, let them assess what they've learned rather than how fast they finished. Be sure to celebrate improvement rather than make comparisons. The objective is to make students feel comfortable and interested. They can enjoy the activity more and feel less bored or anxious and use better thinking strategies. Also, it can motivate students to try hard and stay engaged, but remember not to have students feel at a high intense pressure. This helps students build confidence without having the fear of failure. An example that comes to mind when teaching my son in reading, where I made a game out of reading things that interest him, such as his favorite song in the radio. After he learned reading lessons of the day, while riding in my car, I would pause his favorite song before beginning to play to have him read the artist and song title. If he gets it correct, I will play his favorite song. If he gets wrong, we would go over that word for word that appears on the screen and encourage him positively to try again with his next favorite song. This engages him more to get better at hearing his favorite song play. When reading a children's book, I would read one page and he would read the next page. As a result, it would encourage him to read independently anywhere, and which he has done. Strategy 4. Provide a safe space where mistakes can happen, but encourage that things will get better. Students can look to avoid tasks given to them for a variety of reasons. Like, for example, they may feel embarrassed because they worry about looking bad or just are not smart enough as their peers. This can lower motivation in wanting to complete the task. The strategy with students shows signs of performance avoidance is to remove the pressure so that students doesn't feel judged or fear of ridicule. Be sure to provide an option to students to work either privately or in a small but supportive group. Do not include any comparisons to other students in the classroom, such as asking openly of who did the work better in class. Give private feedback quietly to students. Acknowledge what they have done thus far and where you and the students can work something together to feel like they're a part of something important. See to allow students to redo or practice tasks without close supervision. When students show displays of mastery avoidance goals, they tend to worry about not understanding or not getting better at the assignments given. They begin to feel as though they must be perfect with no mistakes being made, which can lower motivation. The strategy in the aspect of motivational avoidance goals will be to set small and achievable goals to go by. Counsel students that mistakes can happen and that it's all part of the learning process and getting better at time. Be sure to celebrate small progress, as this can build confidence in students to continue to push forward in completing the task. Have the task be made into smaller steps so room for improvement feels attainable. When students can sense improvement in small and manageable steps, they can begin to stop fearing failure and strive to work more. In both instances of performance avoidance and mastery avoidance goals, low motivated students can feel safer with increased confidence in the ability to learn and be more willing to participate in the classroom. Strategies can be applied in classrooms. For teachers, these strategies can be applied in the classroom to students. It is important to build steps and celebrate the progress that they're showing to continue to grow further in their work. When in doubt and motivation is lowered, be sure to redirect their frame of mind from impossible to very possible with each step that they take. Be sure to have students feel a connection to their lessons and how it can relate to their point of view. This can give students a sense of meaning to the lessons and the purpose to the assignments given. This can result in students feeling confident in not just understanding the task, but also ensuring that the task can be completed independently. Creating activities where students can build interest in learning something new. Be encouraging to the students by reminding them to do their very best. Celebrate the progress they're making as they're working on their task. Even though students may express low motivation due to embarrassment, provide choices to work independently or have them work in collaboration in groups to build a community in understanding the work and, more importantly, to get the job done. Be sure that they set their goals in manageable steps, with mistakes expected, but it's all part of the process. Strategies applied to everyday life. These strategies can also be effective in everyday life in helping others. It can involve a friend, a family member, or a coworker, or even a total stranger. These strategies can be useful for those having low motivation in a job, or a sport, or just dealing in times of hardship. Everyone needs a hand from time to time, but remember, start off with understanding one's history as to why they may feel less motivated. Create small but doable steps. Keep in touch with those in need of encouragement, as it means more to them in staying connected and reminding them that they have the ability to get through those obstacles. Celebrate the small victories as they are closer to their ultimate goals. Strategies can be adapted in various situations. Regardless of the number of students in classrooms, of institutions, grade levels, these strategies are very relevant in providing ways for students to engage in lessons taught, test quizzes given, and projects assigned. The main objectives are looking to build confidence in students in facing challenges ahead, helping to understand in helpful steps in first understanding the task, connecting them to the task, believing that they can accomplish so much, and remind them that what they're doing, they're getting better at it, and to keep going. So what could be learned in applying these strategies? The lessons that I could take away are things such as making sure that the tasks are given in small steps, being able to provide assurance that all are doing great with their jobs, redirect ways of thinking if one is experiencing low motivation to a task, have one feel a sense of relatable purpose to the task, remind others that mistakes are often part of the process in growing and doing better. I had witnessed this with my son, who started off feeling very fearful in swimming in therapy. But in incorporating the 4 strategies, he will come out feeling assured that he is not going through any pain or suffering and is just here to enjoy himself in the pool. I can remember his level of reading at the very beginning being of a struggle, but he would continue learning and reach the point of reading books on his own and even announce songs on the radio by reading the songs on the title of the screen. It is a matter of seeing how well he has taken all the challenges and the effects positive guidance can give to a child to see a chance of a better self. So what made these strategies and experiences interesting to me? Throughout this course, I have found several things that come to mind in utilizing these methods. Understand why it is that others may feel how they feel about the challenges they face. When encountering someone who is feeling discouraged or unmotivated, it can help to first learn as to why they come to think the way that they do. In moments of feeling in despair, the person may be going through a crisis and feel as though the next thing that they are facing is too much to handle. Have them feel safe in expressing how they feel and guiding them to redirect their sense of dread into a promise of sense of purpose. Success can be just the smallest things that can grow to bigger things. I found that in conducting the acts of motivation, the rewards can come from just trying your best at each step that you take in accomplishing your task. Consistent encouragement can build others with confidence. When you keep others on their toes with positive reinforcement and encouraging that they're going in the right direction, others can begin to believe that anything is possible. Mistakes are tools for growth. Many can feel discouraged due to a number of mistakes that they can make. It is best to advise that instead of looking into the mistakes, the end-all be-all, it can be looked at as a turn of the page. That is because every story you'll always find something or someone growing in character. Mistakes are often learning tools to learn from, and it's a process that can only be closer to reach your full potential. If you first don't succeed, try again. Progress is but a journey, not a race. It is important to point out to others that in understanding and completing a task is not about competition with others. It is about what can be learned from the lessons being taught. In working on or learning from a task, it is about building themselves to being as resourceful with the lessons they come to learn for the day. Peer pressure is hard enough for this day and age, so the idea in looking to have others feel as though flourishing and ascending and not having them feel discouraged and descending. Motivational philosophies in teaching. As an educator, it is important in connecting with students by finding ways of how the lessons taught can connect with them in order to find purpose to the task. Though each step that they're doing, I can be providing positive feedback as to how far they've come and to keep going. This can increase their confidence in accomplishing the small steps that lies ahead. I also can remind them that mistakes are all part of the process and not feeling discouraged as it all makes sense. The thought of motivation is never about what is done can lead to either a reward or serious consequence, but to have others feel empowered in getting better as you go through the process. If one knows better, then one can do better. It is important for teachers to understand that students should feel that they are capable of growing and evolving. Start in small steps and celebrate with your students of what they are able to accomplish with these steps, as ultimately they will reach the goal to success. As parents, we should look to our children in nurturing through growth, not just in health, but in building character by building confidence and knowing their worth. This is also applies to anyone, whether it be your extended family, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. It is always important to research ideas and strategies to help building others. There's always new ways to improve. In conducting much research on the acts of motivation in causal attribution and goal orientation theory, I have come to understand the strategies used can be effective in not just a classroom, but also in everyday life for anyone. The acts of motivation is only to find ways to reach anyone's goals, whether for school, work, or hobby. Do remember that we are to connect with others by learning one another. This can build confidence in the face of a challenge that they alone would feel inadequate to accomplish. Set a game plan in small steps and celebrate each step that they take. Take the time to others to reflect on the steps that they're taking in order to recognize their own capabilities in attaining their goals. I would like to take this time to thank you all for taking the time to this presentation. I hope you all have enjoyed yourselves and can look to these strategies to bring great success in your classrooms or to wherever or whomever is in need. Thank you all once again and have a great day.